Welcome back, football fanatics, to the only show that got your Premier League predictions locked and loaded. We are diving headfirst into the action of Game Week 4, a weekend that promises more drama, more goals, and more twists than a prime time soap opera. The season is still young, but the pressure is already mounting, and every point feels like gold. So let's get straight into it. But first, a quick look back at how we fared in Game Week 3. It was a tough one, full of surprises and upset. Let's see how our crystal ball performed. It was humbling Game Week 3, but that is what makes this league so exciting. It is time to dust ourselves off and get ready for Game Week 4. We have analyzed the form, the matchups, and the key players to bring you our best shot at redemption. Let's get into the Game Week 4 prediction. Arsenal vs Nottingham Forest. Last match, Arsenal suffered a 1-0 loss to Liverpool, while Nottingham Forest were hammered 3-0 at home by West Ham. My prediction is Arsenal to win, game to go over 2.5 total match goals, and both teams will not score in this match. And both teams are coming off disappointing results, but Arsenal defeat was against a title rival. They'll be desperate to get back on track at home. Forest, on the other hand, looked toothless against West Ham. Arsenal's attacking firepower at the Emirates will be too much for Forest's side that struggled to create anything last week. Expect a comfortable win for the Gunners. Newcastle vs Wolverhampton. Newcastle's search for a first win continue after a 0-0 draw with the Leeds, who were on the receiving end of a surprising 3-2 defeat at home against Everton. My prediction here is Newcastle to win, game to go over 2.5 total match goals, and both teams to score. Both teams are struggling to find form, but Newcastle home support at St James Park will be a huge factor. They've been solid defensively, but the attack need to click. Wolves will be looking to bounce back from their loss, and they have the attacking talent to trouble any defense. This could be a back and forth affair, but Newcastle home advantage should see them edge it. Crystal Palace vs Sunderland. Last match, Crystal Palace stewed Aston Villa with a dominant 3-0 away win, while Sunderland pulled off a major upset, beating Brentford 2-1. Crystal Palace to win this match, game to go under 2.5 total match goals, and both teams will not score in this match. This is a clash of two teams riding a wave of confidence after big wins. However, Palace form and home advantage are undeniable. They were ruthless against Villa and have well-drilled defense. Sunderland's win was impressive, but replicating that performance away from home against a tough Palace side will be a huge task. Expect a tight match with Palace quality coming through. Everton vs Aston Villa. Everton secured a dramatic 3-2 away win against Wolves, while Aston Villa were embarrassed in a 3-0 home loss to Crystal Palace. My prediction is a draw here, game to go over 2.5 total match goal, and both teams to score. What a turnaround for Everton last week. That victory will have boosted their confidence hugely. Villa, meanwhile, looked completely lost at home. They'll be desperate to correct their form, but Everton's home crowd will make it difficult. Both teams have attacking prowess and defensive frailties. This one has all making of an entertaining, high-scoring draw. Bournemouth vs Brighton. Bournemouth deliver a massive 1-0 upset victory away at Tottenham, while Brighton pull off their own shocker, beating Manchester City 2-0. My prediction here is Brighton to win and both teams to score. Game to go over 2.5 total match goals. The form book goes out the window here. Both teams are flying high after massive wins. Brighton's victory over City was a masterclass in exploiting space and counter-attacking. They have a solid structure that can stifle Bournemouth's attack, while the Cherries will be full of confidence. Brighton quality and tactical discipline should see them take all the 3 points in a tight contest. Fulham versus Leeds. Fulham fell 2-0 to Chelsea in London derby, while Leeds play out a dull 0-0 draw with Newcastle. Fulham to win here, game to go under 2.5 total match goals and both teams not to score. Fulham will be looking to bounce back at home after a solid but ultimately unsuccessful performance against Chelsea. Leeds, despite holding Newcastle to a draw, have struggled to score goals this season. Fulham, with their defensive organisation, will be a tough nut to crack at Craven Cottage. Expect the home side to find the breakthrough and hold on for a crucial win. Game next is between West Ham versus Tottenham. West Ham finally got their first point on the board with a comprehensive 3-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Tottenham suffered a shock 1-0 home defeat to Bournemouth. I will go for a draw in this match. Both teams to go over 2.5 total match goals and both teams to score. This is a London derby, form often goes out the window. West Ham's win last week was a huge confidence booster and they'll be buzzing at home. Tottenham, on the other hand, will be desperate to put things right after their embarrassing loss. They have the attacking talent to hurt West Ham, but their defense has looked shaky. This will be a fairing end-to-end game with both sides scoring and ultimately sharing the points. Next game is between Brentford versus Chelsea. Brentford suffered a surprise 2-1 defeat to promoted Sunderland. Chelsea secured a comfortable 2-0 win against Fulham. In my prediction, with Chelsea to win under 2.5 total match goals and both teams not to score. Chelsea form has been impressive and they look like a well-oiled machine under their new manager. They were dominant against Fulham and are showing a really cutting edge. Brentford will be smarting from their loss, but Chelsea defense solidity is a big factor here. It is tough to see Brentford breaking down this Chelsea backline. A professional performance from the Blue should get them all the 3 points. Burnley versus Liverpool. Burnley put up a great fight but lost 3-2 to Manchester United. Liverpool meanwhile beat Arsenal 1-0 in a massive statement victory. Liverpool to win here, game to go over 2.5 total match goals and both teams not to score. Liverpool are showing they are the team to beat right now. That win against Arsenal provided their title credential. They are defensive strongly and have a lethal attack. Burnley showed a promise against United, but their defense remain a concern. At Tottenham, they might get a few chances, but Liverpool quality will shine through. Expect a dominant performance from the Reds. Manchester City versus Manchester United. The Citizens were surprisingly beaten 2-1 by Brighton, while United won a thrilling 3-2 match against Burnley. Manchester City to win here, game to go over 2.5 total match goals and both teams to score. It is the Manchester derby. City are coming off a shock defeat and will be fired up to prove a point. They will be relentless in their attack. United, despite their win, have shown defensive vulnerability, conceding 2 goals to Burnley. They will look to exploit City on the counter-attack, and with their pace up front, they are more than capable of scoring. However, a wounded City is a dangerous City, and their desire to bounce back will be too much for their rivals. So there you have it, our full rundown and prediction for game week 4. It is going to be another weekend of incredible Premier League action. We have got derbies, giant slayers, and some big names disparate to get back to winning ways. Do you agree with our picks? How do you think, or do you think we have got it all wrong? Let us know your prediction for every single game in the comment section below. And if you want to stay ahead of the game with our weekly Premier League prediction, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week to see how we did and to look ahead to game week 5. Until then, enjoy the matches and we'll see you soon.